Hello, this is Sophie Lawson from sophielawson.com and this is another little video. This one is it's a lilac one. We're doing a lilac one here, a bit like Ilya Kufchanov's book. We like the colour lilac and it means it's a spiritual thingy. So lilDENNiS is with us and he's going to sit down here. I'll try and get him. There he is, look. lilDENNiS is with us. What we're going to do on this one is I had a lucid dream last night, / sort of a tiny little out of body experience, but I want to talk about it whilst it's a fart. We're going to be talking about farting, and then I'm also going to talk about automatic writing, which happened afterwards. So what happened was I haven't had a lucid dream for, I think this might be my first proper lucid dream since I've moved into this place. So it's about 3 months or something. I have had tiny little ones, but this is the first one that actually felt like a proper lucid dream. And I can't fully remember everything, but I was still going to go through it. So I'm going to be dealing with my childhood, the sensation of rolling out of your body, false awakenings. Oh, and there's something really cool here. So because I've moved into this place, I thought to myself, if I become false awakenings, what they are is you wake up, you turn the light on. For me, the light doesn't work, so I realise I'm dreaming, and then I can become lucid or wake myself up or something. But I thought, well, what's going to happen? Am I gonna have a false awakening in my old bedroom? But it turns out that the false awakenings happens in this room. So either we are physically going into a duplicate of this reality, we are physically in this reality, or the memory is so good that it can recreate this new room. So, and it was again light switches that triggered my false awakenings. We're going to be talking about points of light, Mars and Earth, how they're linked, missiles attacking the Earth, the end of the world basically, and and a little monk as well, a boy and girl, my boy and girl, which goes into me, I think it goes into me being transgender, which I think goes into actually alternate timelines. I've got a feeling me being transgender is to do with some sort of timelines, like 2 timelines that are trying to sync up. One of them is male, one of them is female, and I think they sync up when there is no male or female. So I'm also going to go through the automatic writing, which is what happens is when you wake up in the morning, you're still half asleep, so you do your little automatic writing. And that was actually answering questions from this lucid dream. So that's why I feel like automatic writings are actually like really powerful when they're teamed up with lucid dreaming. So before we get into that, what I'm going to do is, while I'm talking, if I have some moments where I'm going to talk a bit, I'm going to just do some little doodles. And I've got a new little drawing exercise here, which is cool. Confront your shadow, that's what it says. So, well, one of them is automatic drawing, where you just sort of scribble shapes. And I've noticed something, look, 2012, 2021, they're the same, but in reverse. So I feel like this is actually the year everything comes to an end. But so what I do is you just basically draw a random shape like that, and then you've got to turn it into a little character, which I think is quite cool. I've never done this before, but I find it quite funny. So these are some of the little ones I've done, and what I'm going to do is, well, this one here looks like a little helicopter. I thought it was quite cool. But so if I'm going to just do some little doodles and stuff, if there's any moments of talking. So what happened here was, look, my goal for tonight before I went to sleep was, goal is to speak to me. That's quite telling actually. I said I will speak to me tonight. It's quite telling that actually in the dream I had, oh, this is amazing, because yeah, in the dream I actually went face to face with myself. But when I looked at myself, I was looking at myself as Kevin. So the person I was looking at was Kevin, but I was thinking, that's Kevin, who I used to be, but they look just like Sophie. So I was thinking, well, it's the same person. quite weird. So the first thing, out of body experience, spinning. So I've talked about this before, but when I'm trying to go lucid and stuff, very often I will go out of body. Now I really want to go out of body. My mum's had an out of body experience where she saw herself lying in bed. My sister's actually had one. They both had them spontaneously. And I think maybe I'm sort of trying too hard to have an out of body experience. But every time I've been in a dream or in that state where you can feel you're going out of body, because what happens is you can feel your body coming out of your body as if you're sort of like an inch out of it. Feels weird. And what I've noticed is you're sort of aware that you're out of your body, but you still feel like you're in your body. So for me, I was basically rolling out of my body. I was probably about that much out of my body, like quite a lot. And I just put myself back in because I thought, what if I am actually awake and I roll out of bed? Because I'm now sleeping in like a cabin bed. And I thought, well, if I roll out of here, I might hurt myself. So, but again, that's probably a fear thing. Because I knew I was going out of my body, but I still wasn't 100% sure. And that happened must have been about 4 or 5 times that I was going right out, and then I kept pulling myself back in, which I think is a fear thing. But so I woke up and put out of body experience spinning. This is what I put as well. Look, Mars is the future. A planet exists that is the past. So Mars is actually the Earth in the future. So when we're looking up at Mars, we're actually looking at our future. But then what I was feeling was there's a planet out there somewhere which is the Earth in the past. So we're sort of like, the Earth is sort of like in the middle, the transition between when it was pure and probably just full of green and animals, and the bit when it's been destroyed, like Mars. And we're in the middle of it. That's what I was feeling. I also had Funny the Cat, which is a cat I haven't seen Funny the Cat for about 3 months, because when I moved, she went because she wasn't my cat. She was just jumping through the window. So I had a little bit of Funny as well. I saw a big massive cat. That was cool. So what I do is when I wake up from my lucid dreams, or my dreams, I just quickly write little snippets of what I remember. So one was Mars is the future, another one, a planet exists that is the past, another one was Funny the Cat, big massive cat, another one was Funny's eye, because it zoomed in on her eye, and I saw a little tear, and then another one was missiles wipe out the Earth, and it becomes Mars, and then I put here, time travel is linked to Mars, so there's some sort of time travel going on. So then what I've done is, once I've wrote those down, I've got that out of my head. What I can do now is, I can sort of expand on all of these. Because the thing is, if I woke up and started writing about Funny the Cat, by the time I've sort of got that out of my head, the whole lot of it, I might have forgot about dreaming about Mars. So what I like to do is just make these little snippets, and then I can go back and if I forget. But what normally happens is, as you start writing, even more stuff comes out. So the first thing here, look, wet dream sensation. So I have this reoccurring thing of, it feels like you're having a wet dream, but you're not. Sometimes you are, but most of the time you're not. And it's linked to the out of body experience. So I think it's got something to do with that out of body experience is so exciting, so emotional, that I think it actually produces some sort of orgasm. That's what I can think. And then what happens is, when that sensation happens, that will actually wake me up. So again, I had that one there. I've also put loads of false awakenings. And I had false awakenings within false awakenings, which is where you think you've woken up, you realise you're dreaming, you wake yourself up, only to realise you're still dreaming. And it went on for about 4 or 5 times last night. But the thing was, the light switch even has resistance, which that was amazing. So in the lucid, I've got this by the side of my bed now. I've got this new light switch. Before, the light switch was one of those, you just touch it like that and it was easy. Now I've got one of those, you have to actually push it. So you have to sort of hold the lampshade and push the switch so it pops out the other side of the... So there's a bit of pressure needed. What I've realised, which I think is quite amazing, inside of the Lucid Dream, the False Awakening, the light switch even has resistance. So you even have to push the light switch inside of the dream realm. That's how real it feels. You can actually feel the resistance of the light switch, and what happens is you push it through and the lights don't come on, you realise you're dreaming. Now the next one here, this is brilliant, point of light. What happened was, but this out-of-body experience, it went on, I must have had about 5 moments of going out of my body and coming back in. But what was happening was, at the same time, it was all darkness, there was nothing there. Because what was happening was, I was having a false awakening. When I realised I was dreaming, I was trying to come out of my body, but I kept pulling myself back in. But then all that was there was blackness, like the void. So I must have been in the void again, but I could see this tiny little point of light, just like right there in like the centre. And what was that? I put here, look, connection to me. Am I the point in the dream realm, or am I the dreaming to the point? No, am I the point in the dream realm, or am I dreaming, or am I travelling to the point? That's it. Yeah, so in other words, am I inside of the dream realm, and am I travelling towards that point? So if I focused on that point, would I zoom into that point? So therefore, am I separate from that point, or am I actually the point? There's that sort of thing. Rotating out of body. Now when I realised I couldn't, at that moment, get out of the body, instead of, because I knew what would happen, if I kept trying, I'd get frustrated and I would wake up. So what I said instead was, I said, show me what I need to see. And I saw Funny the cat's eye. What happened was, it zoomed right in on Funny the cat. Zoomed right in on her eye, like that. It was actually like a square. This is what's weird. Imagine this. You've got all this darkness, and there's this little square, as if you were like looking in a window. And there was this big, massive, I knew it was Funny's eye. It was Funny the cat's eye, and a little tear was coming out of her eye. And I felt like, is she missing me or something? Or maybe I'm missing her. Or maybe I've still got like a connection to her or something. Get a little bit emotional there, because I do love me little Funny. I do miss Funny. So show me what I need to see. And obviously what I needed to see was Funny. And then Mars and Earth are linked. What I also do is, when I go back to sleep, when I've written out what I wanted to and I've gone back to sleep, what I'll do is I'll put a line underneath, which that signifies that I'm going back into the dream realm. So every time there's a line, I've actually gone back in and come back out. So what happened was, I saw Funny's eye, and then I woke up. Now this is a bit weird. Why have I put Mars and Earth there? Because that's a bit out of sync. That come after this. But what happened was, I went back in, and Funny was there. Now what happened was, this is quite cool. I was in this I was in this car, and we were travelling down this road. There was a bunch of us in this car. We were travelling down this road, and in the distance, I could see a ginormous Funny the cat, like a massive skyscraper-sized Funny the cat walking around, which I thought was quite cool. And then all of a sudden, I looked up at the sky. The sky was full of missiles. This is what it looked like. So this one here was a proper dream. There was no blackness around the edges, so it's almost as if I had actually gone inside of the picture. What happened was, so I can remember looking at the car, and there was just missiles like this, like loads of them, but they were sort of aimed like this. But it's as if they were all aiming towards a certain point, like that. And then what happened was, I remember going from that, it went to, well, what happened was, I feel like I died. I feel like the missiles hit and I died. Everyone in that car died. And then what happened was, we sort of zoomed out, somebody was talking. It felt like some sort of mystical being or something, or somebody who was fully in the know of what was happening, was talking and explaining everything. And what they said was, look, I saw the whole Earth wiped out and become Mars. What did they say when they... See, I can't remember what they were saying. But what I saw was, like, you know when they do news reports and you see like the map of the Earth? Well, what happened was you saw the entire map of the Earth. I remember seeing England over here. You had all the maps of the Earth, and you just slowly saw redness take over the entire Earth. And it felt, my interpretation of as I saw that was, the entire Earth has been hit by these missiles and sort of wiped out. So look, missiles attacked the Earth. I saw the whole Earth wiped out and become Mars. So I saw that I saw that bit in third person, but I saw the missiles attacking in first person. And then what I said was, look, not going to let you destroy the Earth. The end. There was an entity which was just a bunch of points. Oh yeah, I remember that. So that little point particle, there was like a, imagine this. Well, imagine you've got like a human, let's say you've got a being that looks like that. Well, this being was like made up of point particles like this. So they still had the shape and form of like a human's body, but they were completely points. Almost like, you know, they say that we are actually 99% water or something, and if you could, well, basically, really, we don't really exist. We look like we're solid, but really, we're just little points which are all vibrating so quickly that it looks like this is solid. It's almost like that was what we would really look like if we weren't vibrating or something. But I actually woke up saying, not going to let you destroy the Earth. I'm not going to let you destroy the Earth. And I said, why are we here? To create man. How mad is that? Like, why are we here to create man? To save lives. So we're here to create man and save lives. Are we all going to die? And it says you are already dead. Why are we dead? The US government wiped everyone out. How weird is that? This was, what happened here was, I was half asleep. So I was asking these questions, and this is the answers that were coming up. Why are we here? To create man and to save lives. Are we all going to die? You're already dead. Which that kind of actually goes into this thing here, which is something I felt in the psychedelic experience. In the psychedelic experience in January 2021, I had this sensation that I questioned if we were actually already dead, and we were in some sort of time loop, and we were here to sort of try and save some souls before the end, which would become like Mars. A bit of time travel. There's definitely time travel involved in something. So then the next bit, look, Kevin is the old timeline. So Kevin, that's who I used to be. But I guess I still am, because it's only a name. But so Kevin is the old timeline. He drove off in a car. I said, oh yeah, that was weird. So again, like I said, well, this is weird. So I saw myself multiple times throughout this night in different dreams, because there was one later where I was hiding under my bed, and I heard myself on the bed, so I got out. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this one here, I remember looking at a car, and my old self was inside the car, and it was driving along, and I actually spoke to myself and said, you will have fun. But that was a version of me that was actually staying on the old timeline. So I feel like the old timeline is a negative timeline, but even though it was a negative one, look, I still said you will have fun. How cool is that? I was with someone. What's this? They stood on my iPad. Oh yeah, I remember that. They stood on my iPad and they did it. I felt like they were trying to make me get angry or something, but I didn't. And I said, I will get revenge, but not with physical things. I then did a Chinese burn. Do you remember those? I ain't done one of those for ages. At school we used to do that. You have to go like that. Hey, that's quite thingy, because you're twisting in opposite directions. Maybe there's something to that. The fact that it's twisting in, maybe there's some sort of significance to the, because I've always said that there's something going on here with spinning within a spin. If you've got spins within a spin, that's how you can turn a point into a sphere. So maybe that's got something to do with the Chinese burn. This is why I like dreams. There's sort of hidden things in it. Here, look. So this is the next bit. What happened here was I was under my bed at my old place where I used to live, and there was somebody in the house. So I was aware of the fact that I'd left there. So I was under the bed, and I heard somebody come in the room, so I hid under the bed. I then heard somebody jump on the bed, and I realised it was me. It was me in the past, sitting on the bed. So what I did was I got out from under the bed, and I said, "Do you want to switch lives?" So I got out from under the bed, and it felt like the one that got out from under the bed was me. It was me here, and I said, "Do you want to switch lives?" So I feel like the one that was switching was Sophie, which is me, and they were switching with Kevin. Like that. But what happened was, as I was looking at myself, my old self, it looked like me. It looked like me now. It says here, "We will become one. Sophie and Kevin, we will go back to the start." So basically, if that version of me accepted the switch, what would happen is we would go back to the start, but we'd become one. Before escaping, endlessly escaping, they took the boy and the girl with a monk. This is now another dream, which was another lucid dream. That's what that line is. So this one was weird as well. This went on for quite a while, and this felt like a sort of this felt like it went over multiple days. But what happened was that I was endlessly escaping. I was constant. There was about 4 of us. No, there wasn't. There was 5. It was me, a boy and a girl, and a male and a female, which I thought was mum and dad, and I thought the boy and the girl was me, as a child, my child. But I felt like it was the children of these 2 timelines. So you got the male timeline and the female timeline. But what happened was somebody was after us, so we had to keep escaping, and it got to this point where we were trapped basically in this room. Because what happened was, it's weird. We kept doing the same thing to escape, which was jumping out the window, and we had some sort of thing there. But what happened was, in this bit, there was no thing there, so I had to go somehow. I went outside, got the ladder, put the ladder up, and then what happened was we all ran out. We ran out, but we ran out the other window. And what happened was, me, the male and the female got away, and there was a monk with us as well, some sort of monk. What happened was the monk took the boy and the girl, and as we looked back, we said, "Where are the children?" And they were in the back garden, and they had been captured by the people who were after us, but the monk was there as well. So, and then what happened then was, we had to leave them, so we ran off, but the little boy somehow teleported. So the little boy showed up, and I remember thinking, well, how did he get here? And I also thought, why didn't the girl come here? But I've been talking about these 2 for ages. This boy and girl they're reoccurring characters in my dreams. So what my goal for tonight is, I want to face these boys and girl, and I want to ask, who are they? But there's this bit here, look. So I've got this other reoccurring dream symbol, which is me sitting in a public toilet. I'm normally in the wrong toilet, so I'm normally in the male toilets as Sophie, and what happens is these blokes come in, or what happened is I'm in the toilets but there's no walls, so everyone can see me, and normally I feel really self-conscious, but this time I didn't care, because what happened was, this is a bit weird, basically I'd shit myself, but what happened was I just shit myself so much, it was funny as well, I farted. What happened was, we were having this conversation, we were having this really deep conversation, and I just farted really loudly in the dream, and I remember thinking it was funny. It was funny, and look, I didn't care. I wanted to watch the film. There's people with me. We were watching some sort of film, but what happened was this fart, it didn't end, and it turned into me shitting myself, and then so I went into the toilet, and everyone was looking at me, watching me go in the toilet, but I didn't care. And then I sat there and I had a poo. But what happened was, it was spraying basically red water. It was an endless supply of red water coming out of me. I had big tits as well. Do you like that? It's quite cool, isn't it? Again, what I like about these lucid dreams is they're very vivid, so you can really feel everything, which is quite cool. So here, look, under the bed was all my old clothes. So under the bed, when I was hiding under the bed, all my old boy clothes were there. And I remember thinking, I had this Video Game Outsiders hoodie, which I'd won as a gift in 2007, I think. And I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, I should have kept that. But I threw all my boy clothes away about 4 or 5 years ago. But so it's quite weird to see that again. I've also put here, look, someone trying to touch me. Somebody trying to touch my titties. And then, look, Mum and Dad was with me. I was with Mum and Dad. So I was with Mum and Dad all throughout these dreams. It's quite weird. Kevin was having a rough life. Yeah, Kevin, when he jumped on the bed, he was having a rough life. That's when I come out and said, do you want to switch lives? What's this? Running something. Care out like, oh yeah, running poo. Basically, runny poo. Came out like red water. Endless supply of red water. I went back to sleep, the next one, and I said, look, sure earlier I was explaining this. Oh yeah, I've put here, I'm sure earlier I was explaining this being a dream realm too, but I couldn't remember. So I had this was me trying to remember a dream but not being able to, but all I had in my head was that I was in a dream explaining that this here was a dream realm. I've put a thank you, and I've put, this is my main takeaways from these dreams. Childhood, Kevin and Sophie, end of the world, Funny the cat, out-body experience, and being chased. I'm just going to put the door stop because the door keeps opening. Because I think the windows open, the French doors are open. So that's basically the lucid dreams. So the main takeaway from that for me was the out-of-body experience. I've got to overcome the fear of going out of body. I don't know how to do it. It's quite weird. I've got hiccups. What else is there? Well, that monk being there is quite interesting to me. The monk taking the boy and the girl is quite interesting. Also, what's interesting is that the little boy came back to me. That's quite weird. So now, when I woke up, I did my automatic writing. So this is what I've put. Now, I can't remember any of this, because when you're writing these, you don't really know what you're writing. So I asked it, what you do is, you wake up, and you ask yourself a question, and then you just write and see what comes out. And normally, something comes out and you can't even believe that you said that. So, who is the boy? I've put, who is the girl? The boy seems to be with me all the time. The girl seems to come to me for fun. She's full of energy. The boy is more consistent, but he seems unhappy, sad. He seems like he needs something. He needs me. He needs me to acknowledge him. When? How? I need to speak to him in a dream. I will. I will make the boy a goal for tonight. I will sleep early and speak to the boy. So that's my dream goal for tonight. My goal for tonight is to speak to the boy, which I think it is my inner child. I feel like if I can speak to him, I might be able to resolve a big issue or something. The next question I asked was, is the world ending? And it says, it already has. I said, are we in a time loop now? Who's evolving? Did I come back? Am I trapped? Is Mum here to help me? Or am I here to help Mum? It says both. We both sacrificed to save each other. Don't let her down. I will do my best. I will lead by example. If I change my ways, Mum will change hers. This is the final days, the final phase, the moment of choice. You are only in control of your own actions. Both timelines exist. Your choices will result in one of the other becoming the final timeline. So there's something going on here with time. Now what's weird is this was something that really came out at me when I had that psychedelic experience, and I went through some sort of channeling phase. I didn't realise it at the time, but as I look back, I'm sure that was what was happening, and it was talking about how the DNA inside of us is to do with time. So if you change the DNA, you're actually changing the timelines, which this goes into all the things they're doing at the minute with these vaccines and stuff. I feel like they're trying to change the timelines to make it a negative timeline. That's what I'm convinced of. I've put so many dreams tonight, thank you. I miss being in the dream state. What's this? Are we teleporting at night? Is it real places or just imagining, or are we just imagining building scenes to help us grow? Basically what I was asking was, are we teleporting in our dreams to these dream realms, or is it our mind just creating these scenes in our imagination to help us grow, to help us understand? Why do you need to know? I said, if I know, I feel I will be able to make better use of it. Thank you. So it didn't really answer that. Why do you need to know? Well, in a way, you could look at that and it's almost saying, who cares? Who cares whether it's you teleporting or if it's you creating it in your imagination? Who cares? All you've got to do is learn from it. That's sort of what I'm feeling. SMP, that's the single-minded purpose. So this automatic writing, it started out with Inspire Nation. I did the course at Inspire Nation, which taught you how to do automatic writing. So this one is actually day 1144. So it's about 4 years now I've been doing this. And what you do is, you ask yourself single-minded purpose, which is a little thing you've got to try and do today, which will hopefully get you closer to where you want to be. So today's SMP, it says, don't forget to focus on the child. Your childhood is key to you and mum. Mum's childhood is key to mum and you. The childhood needs to be discussed. And then I've put, why do I have a boy and a girl? It says, they are you on 2 timelines. So that little boy and girl in the dreams that I keep seeing, they're actually me in 2 different timelines. That's what it's saying. That's basically it. What I loved about this one was, it just went on all night. I was just waking up. I was waking up and sleeping, and every time I went back to sleep, I was just going back into these things. It felt a bit like you were sort of playing a film. You got to a good bit, so you paused it, you came out and wrote about it, and then you went back in and resumed it. Because basically, if you had just stayed in there watching this or experiencing this, by the time you come out of it at the end, you would have forgot loads of it. So this is, again, I'm sort of thinking, when we're dreaming, especially like lucid dreams, are we actually visiting a location? And then I feel like there's something going on with time, because you can come out of a dream and you can pop straight back into it where you left off. But sometimes you can go backwards and forwards. So it's fascinating though, it is. But I hope you enjoyed that. It's my recent little lucid dream. And well, what I do is my goal for now is going to be to speak to my little child, my inner child. I've put the boy, but maybe I'll put speak to the inner child. I hope you enjoyed that though. If you've got any ideas about this, also have you ever had any visions of sort of beings like that? Because it was moving, and as it moved, all the little point particles that were like floating about, they all moved. So it was as if all the point particles were connected together, but there was nothing between them. So even though they were all separate, they were actually moving as one. It was quite amazing to see that. Also, these missiles, That's quite amazing. I remember a couple years ago I had these dreams where the entire earth, I was walking down the street and it was the sky was red and there was just fire everywhere. And then I went through a series of dreams of flooding. I kept dreaming about flooding, but I've never actually dreamed about missiles before. That's quite. They were definitely missiles as well. They weren't comets. I remember them being missiles. Look at that as well, a little crying eye. They're a bit like lilDENNiS's, look. Hope you enjoyed that though, and I shall see you later for another one.